So you want to go sailing in Chicago, but don't own a boat. I've got some suggestions for you. Hi, I'm Sailor Eric, and if you are interested in learning about sailing a boat or boat maintenance, consider subscribing to this channel. There are a lot of ways to get out in sailboats in Chicago. Here are 8 ways to go out sailing in Chicago if you do not own a sailboat. The first way I'm going to cover is timeshare or fractional leasing. This is where you pay a firm for the right to use a particular vessel for defined periods of time throughout the sailing season. There are 4 prominent companies in Chicago that I will cover here, but this is not an exhaustive list. The first company I'd like to cover is Pinnacle Yachts, which is, I believe, a Chicago company. They primarily operate out of Chicago. They operate out of Monroe and DuSable harbors. They have an extensive modern fleet. Most, if not all, of their vessels are under 10 years old. They have both sail and power vessels. The firm has a bit of a corporate feel. The support is solid. The contracts and the scheduling is very formalized and very defined. The cost for a season would range between $6,500 and $15,000 for a season. When you compare this to owning a sailboat, that's still a pretty good deal comparatively. I've got about 5 years experience with Pinnacle. I was a Pinnacle member for a period of time. I thought they were a very good option for getting out on the water in Chicago. The second firm I'd like to cover is Sailtime International. Sailtime is a company that has been around since 2005, I'd say, or at least I'd see under the current ownership. And it manages a charter fleet where they don't actually own the sailboats. The previous company, Pinnacle, they own the entire fleet, to my knowledge. This is an operation where they encourage members to bring in their sailboats to be managed by Sailtime. But the revenue is shared between the management company and the owners of the vessel. So if you own a vessel and have submitted it for charters in this program, you'd be receiving revenue in addition to having access to your boat and potentially other boats. So there's a big benefit to that. You don't have to own a boat to be a member, though. You can just charter the boats. Boats are also generally under 10 years old in this program. Solid support, solid training. This company has a little bit more of a family feel. They're a little more flexible. The contracts are a little more flexible. The pricing is a little more flexible. The owner, or one of the co-founders of Sailtime, is a Chicagoan, Bob Remsing, and he is, again, a co-founder of the entire international organization. His son, Ryan, runs the Chicago branch of Sailtime, so they definitely have a heavy Chicago presence, and you can feel that here in Chicago when you're talking or looking to become a member. It definitely has a little more of a little more community personality as opposed to formalized and corporate. The cost per season is between $5,000 and $12,000 for the season, and that's general. It might exceed that by a little bit. I've got 3 years experience sailing with Sailtime, and I had a very good experience there, as I also had a good experience with Pinnacle, but they definitely have different feels to them. The third firm I'd like to cover is Olson's Classic Yachts here in Chicago. They operate out of Monroe Harbor. They're very affordable. They have an older fleet of boats. I believe they own all the boats. Perhaps they have relationships with some owners that contribute their boats into the fleet. These are older boats again, and they're probably going to have some issues here or there. They may not be as well maintained. The cost is much more affordable than the previous 2 companies, I think. You should probably budget between $3,500 and $8,500 for the season. I would guess you're going to have more flexibility and more accessibility to the boats for that price range. And in general, it's also a Chicago company. They've been around a long time. I personally know a few people who have participated in that program, and they enjoyed it. They really liked it. The final company I want to talk about is Fairwind Sailing, which operates out of Burnham Harbor. I don't know much about, to be honest. They have sailboats that I've seen come and go out of Burnham Harbor. I've seen those boats. They're Beneteaus primarily. They have 4 or 5 sailboats to offer. Their pricing, I think, is a little bit higher than Olson's, maybe very similar to the pricing you would find at Sail Time. I apologize if I've overlooked or not mentioned a resource that I probably should have at this point. If there are any other resources that belong to this list or other categories as I go on, please leave a comment so I can correct the record or maybe follow up. The next opportunity I want to tell you about in Chicago to get on the water and sail are different sailing programs that are available. And the first program I want to talk about is Skipjacks. Skipjacks is run at the Columbia Yacht Club. The program costs approximately $500 for non-members, a little bit less for members of the Columbia Yacht Club. It runs between mid-May and the end of June, offers approximately 5, maybe 6 on-the-water experiences. Each experience is going to be on a different boat with a different captain and have different people joining it. So the program facilitates a lot of good networking, just getting to know people in the sailing community in Chicago. It offers hands-on, it offers sailing instruction. So for $500, this is really a great opportunity to get out on the water in Chicago. Another program is Third Coast Cruising. This is a hybrid between sail training and sail chartering. They have different membership levels. The membership levels range between, if I recall, a few $100s to maybe $7,000, $8,000 for a sailing season. And the membership levels include training. You can just do basic training packages. You can have a membership level that involves you in group sales, or you have the opportunity to join group sales. There are also higher level of memberships that allow you to have boat rentals included. Rent one of the monohull boats, or they have a catamaran in their fleet. I believe they have 3 sailboats total in their fleet. Maybe they have more. The boats are a little bit older. They're a little less maintained than those charter companies I talked about previously. But generally, these guys are always on the water. They have very credible training. I have a high opinion of Third Coast Cruising, which operates out of Monroe Harbor, so check them out. The other sail program I'll discuss, or very briefly, is Sail Chicago, which is very affordable membership price of between $200 and $300 a year, and is very volunteer oriented. You have to reach out and get involved in the organization. They have a small fleet of vessels that you may have opportunities to either do group sales on or training on. That's another program available. Okay, the third idea to get on the water in Chicago if you don't own a boat is to participate in sailing training programs, and they are all over Chicago. I got to tell you that when I first started learning how to sail, it was very easy to find the right training program for me. There are a number of certifications available. These certifications are defined by different organizations. The American Sailing Association is one. I am certified by that organization at a number of levels. The U.S. Sailing Organization certainly has the 101 Basic Keelboat course. That is a standard sailing training certification. Nautic Ed is an organization out there that provides certifications, especially for people who want to go out and bareboat charter. And I got to say, for Nautic Ed, their online courses are phenomenal. The number 4 option for getting on the water in Chicago if you don't own a boat is to buy a boat. So you could certainly purchase a vessel. It's not for everybody, right? The cost of ownership is high. You've heard the old saying, the best day in a sailor's life is the day they bought a boat, and then the second best day or the next best day in their life was the day they sold a boat. So there is a lot of work that goes into owning a boat. There's a lot of things that come with it. There's fixed costs, certainly in Chicago. I would budget at least $10,000 to store and moor a sailboat in Chicago. Of course, that cost can go up with a larger sized vessel. For a small vessel, that seems like a reasonable budget. There are variable and fixed costs associated with owning a boat. Especially if you want to upgrade it. Everybody knows you buy something and you want to improve it, but that's going to cost, right? You can get an affordable sailboat at a place called Nautical Donations at Crowley's Yacht Yard, right? So people, when they have, they just decide, this boat is not worth reselling. I'm just going to give it up and donate it. Nautical Donations at Crowley's Boatyard takes those vessels, and the staff at Crowley's, to a certain extent, refits and services the vessels so that they can be resold to the public. And you can probably get a sailboat for under $15,000 at Crowley's Yacht Yard under that program, under Nautical Donations. So that's something you might want to consider for a little more inexpensive opportunity. And of course, you can always go online and look for boats for sale, such as on Yacht World or other resources. It's very easy to find boats for sale in Chicago. Number 5 opportunity to get on the water in Chicago, if you do not own a boat, is to charter on demand. There are a number of firms out there that I've seen on the lakefront that you can reserve ahead of time at the designated time slot of your choosing. Obviously, it depends on their availability, right? But that would cost roughly $150 an hour is what I would budget. And there's usually a 2 to 3 hour minimum to sail. The companies out there would include some that I'm very familiar with or have seen out there is Come Sailing. And Come Sailing has 2 different sailboats. It's run by Mike, is this gentleman that I've seen out there for many years and I've come to know. So big thumbs up for Mike's Come Sailing charter company. Salty Dog Sailing in Chicago is another firm that I've seen out there on the water and offers charters, flexible charters for people. First Class Charters is another one. I believe that is one that has a catamaran, and I've seen them out there on the lakefront. Seabird Sailing Charters is one other that I have heard of. And there's also public charters, right? You can get on the water in Chicago fairly easily. You just go to the Navy Pier and jump on a number of possible vessels that are just leaving the pier every few hours. You can go out, you can do a fireworks cruise. There's a tall ship called the Windy that sails out of Navy Pier. Not a lot of pier sailing though. That is a little more of like just a cookie cutter time on a sailboat, but they're usually under engine power. There's also, if you just want to get on the water, the river, you could do an architectural cruise on the river. There's lots of opportunities. There's water taxis. So, public charters is an option. The number 6 item I would recommend if you do not own a boat but want to get on the water and sail would be to join a yacht club, right? So there are a number of yacht clubs here in Chicago that certainly would get you networked into the sailing community, and you can just, through that organization, talk to people and look for opportunities to get out on the water with other people that own sailboats, right? The Chicago Yacht Club is out of Monroe Harbor. They are very prestigious. They have a rich history. They have a lot of sailing experience. They host races. They participate in races. Many of their captains go out there and love to race. The cost to join the yacht club, it's probably going to be, just think like a $7,000 per year in dues plus extra fees, right? There might be an initiation fee. There might be extra fees associated with your annual dues, that such as you have to purchase so much in the ship store or in the bar or on facilities. The same might be true for the Columbia Yacht Club, which is the second yacht club I talk about, also out of Monroe Harbor. They have a very compelling location, right? They have purchased a old Canadian ferry and docked it permanently in Monroe Harbor. It's called the Abegweet. And it's a permanent structure zoned appropriately for the club. So members have access to that club facility, which is very cool. Also a very prestigious, very active membership. They get out there, a lot of sailors, a lot of active sailing, a lot of serious sailors. They've got a cruising club as well. So those are the 2 probably most popular yacht clubs, and they're right in downtown Chicago. The cost of the Columbia Yacht Club is going to be pretty similar to the Chicago Yacht Club, maybe perhaps slightly lower. I would guess if I were to go in there today and apply to either one, I would find that my annual cost to apply Columbia Yacht Club or join Columbia Yacht Club probably be about 20% less. At least that was my experience when I did, when I was a member of the Columbia Yacht Club. There are two other yacht clubs I want to talk about. One services the south part of Chicago, Jackson Park, and the annual membership of that yacht club, I think, is below $500, maybe even around $300 a year, which is extremely affordable for a yacht club. It is very community oriented, very inclusive. They encourage people to get out sailing. If you don't know how to sail and you want to sail, that might be a great place. It's, again, a little bit further south, but it is definitely a lot of sailors that are knowledgeable down there. And if you want to sail there, you're probably going to find opportunities to get out on the water with much more experienced sailors or captains down there. And then the Corinthian Yacht Club, which is up in Montrose Harbor to the north. I'd say very similar things about the Corinthian Yacht Club, with the caveat that's slightly more expensive. So you're talking about $650 a year roughly for a membership at the Corinthian, but also active community out there, opportunities to network, opportunities to potentially talk with other captains, other sailors, and find opportunities to get out there on the water. All right, the seventh idea, the seventh way to get out on the water if you don't own a boat in Chicago and sail, Facebook groups. There are a number of Facebook groups out there that facilitate networking, right? You can post to the group and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, I have this much experience or no experience, and I'd like to get on the water and sail. Can anybody help me do that? And great way to basically get out there without any cost, right? No cost to you. Maybe a captain would appreciate it if you bring him a six-pack of beer or maybe an alternative beverage or snacks or whatever for that group. So Chicago Sailors would be the first Facebook group I would recommend. I have posted there and I've seen a lot of interactive communication, a lot of activity going on the Chicago Sailors group. Sail the Great Lakes would be another Facebook group that you might want to take a look at. And yacht club groups, Chicago Yacht Club, Columbia Yacht Club, the Corinthian Yacht Club, the Jackson Park Yacht Club, I believe they all have Facebook groups that you could potentially attempt to join. I'm not sure if they require membership of any sort. I would guess not. I tried anyway. The eighth way to get on the water in Chicago, and it's the last formal idea I'll give you today, is to join race crews. The beer can races are these Wednesday evening races that occur throughout the sailing season, and they're put on by the yacht clubs. So the yacht clubs I talked about earlier, the Chicago Yacht Club, the Columbia Yacht Club, the Jackson Park Yacht Club, the Corinthian Yacht Club, I believe they all sponsor beer can races out there. So certainly the ones in Monroe do. Jackson Park does. I think Corinthian does, but I have to double check. Belmont, I believe there's going to be some Wednesday night beer can racing out of Belmont, if I'm not mistaken. And basically, these are training evolutions. So the beer can races are meant to be less formal and a little more accessible. And many times you can show up to a yacht club with a six-pack of beer. This is the namesake. This is the idea, right? You show up with a six-pack of beer, give it to the captain, and they let you on the boat, and you can go out on a race. That's probably not the way it really works these days, right? But you could still, the same idea. You show up, you are gracious, you offer maybe something, some sort of token. Hey, I brought everybody some Coke or everybody some, snacks. Would you let me on your boat to go race? You can show up at different yacht clubs knowing that this is Wednesday after work and attempt to get on a boat. Certainly you can email any of the yacht clubs ahead of these events and ask the racing committee or the social committee, go through an access point for these yacht clubs and see if they'll help you get in touch with some boat captains for the races. And you can also just reach out from the Facebook groups, like I mentioned to you earlier. Through the Facebook groups, you can also ask for those opportunities, and you're very likely to get a response. These beer can races are also feeders into races that occur on Saturdays. Most weekends in Chicago have some sort of race, and the beer can events are just kind of training evolutions for those larger races. So if you get your foot in the door with the beer can races, you might also have opportunities to participate in larger races, especially if you establish your skill set on a racing boat. As a bonus, I'll tell you that you should just drop me a comment and let me know if you'd like to get on the water, and perhaps I'll take you sailing with me out of Monroe Harbor. That's an option. So again, that's just a bonus opportunity for you. Okay, to recap, the 8 ways I talked about today to get on the water if you don't own a sailboat but you want to sail in Chicago. First one, time sharing or fractional leasing. And I provided a list of companies that I know of, and there's probably some other opportunities out there. Number 2 is sailing programs, right? The Third Coast Cruising, the Skipjacks program, amongst those I discussed. Sail training, there's lots of opportunities to just get out there and take a sailboat course. Buying a boat is certainly an option. Chartering, you can engage different private charter companies here in Chicago and have a great experience out on the water. Yacht club membership is an opportunity for you. Low cost would be Facebook groups. You can just simply join a Facebook group and start talking on the group and see if you can do a little networking and get some people interested in bringing you out. And then finally, volunteering as race crew. The Wednesday evening races in Chicago are meant to be very accessible for inexperienced sailors, or maybe even someone with experience but just doesn't have the opportunity otherwise to get out on the water. And I'll leave you with this thought. There are lots of people in Chicago that took the plunge to own a boat, yet are having a hard time finding crew to sail with as much as they'd like to sail. Likewise, there are many people out there who want to get out on a sailboat who do not own a sailboat. Matching up these two sides requires communication. All the suggestions I mentioned will result in your networking in the Chicago sailing community, and that's what it's all about. I want to thank my subscribers for your support. Really appreciate your viewing. This is Sailor Eric, and thank you for watching.